Okay, so instead of fooling around like I was, what I should have done is use the tool like you're supposed to use it instead of trying to get around doing it the right way. So here's how we do this the right way. If I go ahead and I select that, you see I get this option up here, and this is tedious. That's why I don't like doing it, but it's the right way to do it. You see how I can say break at join or make continuous. If I make continuous, it stays the same. But if I break at the join, you see how it breaks it and takes it down lower, and I have that option there. That little icon does that, okay? Now what I can do is I can come up here and I can go back to curtain grid and click on curtain grid, and I can come over here, and it's tough to do, people. It's rare that you get it just right, but if I click there, right, see how it puts a whole mullion in? I don't want to do that if I can avoid it. So what I'll do is I'll come in and I'll say curtain grid, and I'll say one segment. See that up here, the one segment? If I come up here, I can put in the one segment, right? And then if I come in here and unpin that and delete it, then I can take away a portion of that segment down. Oh, I didn't mean to click it that way. Let me go back. Sorry. I've got that one segment. I can move that segment over, right? And I hit can't. Oops. Let me try that one more time. I can say move this segment over. And I'll say okay. And then I'll come in here and I'll say architecture, and I'll say mullion, and I'll say put a mullion there. And now, that mullion's in there. And then when I go back and look at the first floor, right, I see I've got the door there, and it's opening up into the hallway like it needs to. And that door is probably, although these are usually custom, I've got more than the necessary clear space in there for that door to open, so I'm okay. So I've got that door into that lab, and what I'd probably do is go ahead and do the same thing on this side. You see where I'm at on this side? So what would I have to do to get that right? I'd have to create another elevation, or I can just use this section here to do that, right? So where am I at here? I'm in this particular panel, right? And I want to make sure that I get it similar to the size here. So what can I do to do that? Well, I can come in here, and you know what? Before I even do that, what I didn't do was remove that mullion at the floor for the door, so the door would actually open. Hold on a second. Looks like I got a little problem down in here. I wonder why that's doing that. Let me try this again. If I delete that mullion, I'm going to say delete type, replace panel, delete grid line. Okay. Same thing there. And now I have to go back, I'm sorry, and tab, click, unpin, and put the door in. All kinds of little niggling things that'll happen to you in Revit, people. And then if I go back to the first floor, I see my door still opening out, so that's fine. And probably where I wanted to flip the other way, right? I wanted to open that way. So as I run out of this room in a fire or something like that, I'll be able to run right over to my eventual stairwell when I have it built, okay? All right, let's go back to the other side where we were building in section 4. Same thing is true here. I'm going to come in here and I'll delete that first and save myself some trouble. And on this back end, I'm going to see if I just hover tab. Oh, I was hitting delete. Sorry. Tab. I'm not catching that. Let's tab. Nope, that's the other one. There we go. Okay. So I can unpin that. And then I can come in here and put my door in, single curtain wall glass, right? And I'll go back to my floor plan, first floor, and I'll check that. That door needs to do what? It needs to swing out, right? And I don't necessarily want to swing it into traffic, so someone coming around here might hit it. So in this instance, can I flip it the other way? Yeah, I'd probably be safer flipping it the other way, but you see how this is an interesting situation, people. I'm glad we ran into this. You know, coming around here, that door isn't supposed to swing 7 feet into that. So I'm going to have to swing that in, or I'm going to have to make what? I'm going to have to make this smaller so that there's more corridor for that to happen. So how would I do that? This is really good that we ran into this. So I'm gonna undo a few steps because I think what we need to do is kind of think our way through this a little better, right? What might we do? What might we have to do in this situation? What if in this portion of the lab we have to come in here and we have to actually adjust the way our wall is here, right? So that we're not getting into that corridor space. This is good that this happened. So let's do this. Let's think our way through this. What if I click here and I say create similar, and I take back to the middle of that mullion approximately, and I come over here and draw that, and then from the middle of this mullion here I come in and I draw that, and then I flip them, right? And I flip this, and then I trim TR between those, TR on the keyboard, and then here, right? What if I pull that back to here, right, for that corner, and then I pull back to here for that corner, right? And then I decide, okay, now if I come into this area, right, which is this portion of the panel right here, what if I come in here now, and now I delete that mullion down there, and now I hover here and tab, 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 click, and I unpin that and I say, now this situation actually works, even when I flip it so that its egress allows it to flip out. And you know, I might even come in here and carry this over a little bit, you know, so that, you know, these two are even on the outside. Can I align these two? I don't know. I'm going to try. Nope, it won't allow me to do it. So what I'm going to have to do is just physically move this so that that's more even there. And I probably delete that mullion right there, right? And now I have a door that opens out. It doesn't obstruct my corridor this way for egress, and it doesn't obstruct it that way for egress. And now that I have that on both sides, let's see if I can kill a few birds with one stone. What if I hover here or hover here at this wall and tab, click, right? Or not even that. What if I come in here and I copy all of this, right? And I say, copy the clipboard. Okay, and then it says some elements aren't copied, and it's probably the doors. But then I say paste align to selected levels and say, put this on the second and third floor for me. What'll happen? Wow, look at that. It actually brought the doors up, right? And so now I have my doors there. So if I check, I see in section it looks good, but what about in plan? Let's go to the second floor. Up, works on the second floor. Then the third floor looks good on the third floor too. So now we've got our labs laid out, right? And we're not going to worry about the furniture or anything like that or anything to the end. I'm going to provide that for you to put in there, the lab tables and everything. Don't worry about doing any of that right now. But we've got the spaces in there. So now when we come back next time, we're going to work on getting our offices done. And we're going to worry about getting the bathrooms done. And we're going to get all this stuff laid out. But we're going to do everything on the first floor. And we're just, as you're going to see, we're going to copy it to the second and third. So once we get it right, then we can copy it up. Let's also, before we cut out of this video, go to our ceiling on the first floor. Let's see if we can select our ceiling and copy that up too. So I'm going to select everything, filter, check none, ceilings, apply, okay. Go back to section 4 and say copy to clipboard. Then paste align to selected levels, the second and third floor. Okay. And if I did a wireframe, now you can see I've got my ceiling on the second and third floor. And the way I know is if I go to second floor, second floor reflected ceiling plan, you can see my ceiling is there. See that? And then if I go to third floor reflected ceiling plan, there's my ceiling there as well. So I'm doing pretty good. Got a lot of good things done today. Our lab space is taken care of on each floor now. So we should be in good standings. When we come back on Thursday, we'll continue to get to work on these other spaces and getting them laid out properly. And then we'll start working on our common spaces like our bathrooms, and we'll get these stairwells done too. And we'll be at the point where the building itself will be done. And then at that point, we're going to start taking care of the detailing. So hopefully this made sense, and it's going to be helpful to you as you go. And don't forget, please stay up with us on this. Don't let yourself get too far behind, because it's very difficult to get caught up once you get too far behind. So I'll go ahead and stop this video. I'll upload it, and that will be it for today. So everyone have a good day, and I'll see most of you tomorrow afternoon.